The National Assembly, through its Joint Committee on Industry, Trade and Investment, has criticized Nigeria's border closure policy, describing it as ineffective in addressing cross-border crimes such as banditry and smuggling. And during the 2025 budget defense session with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments, lawmakers expressed frustration over persistent security and economic challenges stemming from the porous nature of Nigeria's border with Niger and Chad. The one that the nation might be deceiving itself with the current approach. Chairman, Senate Committee on Industry, Francis Fadaunsi, argued that the border closure policy is counterproductive. He suggested that officially opening the borders could prove more beneficial than maintaining the illusion of a closure that fails to curb smuggling and insecurity effectively. And for context, we're joined by Public Affairs Analyst, and that's Jide Ojo. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure. Happy weekend.
All right, thank you. Let me kick off by asking you if there's been so far a detailed post-implementation review of the border closure policy success in curbing what we know as illegal activities like smuggling and trafficking. And if so, what has been the outcome so far?
My dear sister, let's not live under any illusion. Every form of boundaries are artificial. There is no country in the world that has successfully closed its borders securely. And you could see what's going on in US, between US and Canada, between US and Mexico. This US is one of the most technologically advanced countries, but here you see a lot of illegal migrants moving into US. Likewise, UK. You see Nigerians who are going through the waterways, through Atlantic Ocean, Sahara Desert, Atlantic Oceans into Spain and Europe. So it's an existential problem. That's what I'm trying to drive at. It's an existential problem, and Nigeria does not even have the wherewithal to procure technological innovations to effectively survey our borders. Let me shock you. Over 10 years ago, David Paradang, when he was the Comptroller General of Nigeria Immigration Service, did say that the NIS, that's the Immigration Service, discovered 1,400 illegal entry routes into Nigeria. 1,400. Meanwhile, we have about 86 manned borders throughout Nigeria. So just do the math. You have over 1,400. As of that time, maybe there are more now. You have 1,400 illegal entry routes, and you only have 86 officially manned border posts. That's why, issue of smuggling of Nigeria's petroleum products and importing through smuggling food items can never stop. Not even with the best effort of Nigerian Customs Service or Nigerian Immigration Service. Because Nigeria is a huge country with thousands of square kilometers. You cannot build a perimeter fence across a country this huge. So the best that could be done is to manage it in a creative way. And I must say that the federal government last year did inaugurate a command and control center where they said they are going to be using technology to survey the different border posts in Nigeria. That was towards the end of last year. We just hope that surveillance will yield positive results. Just to effectively man any country's border is like living in a fool's paradise.
Just to come in there, Mr. Ojo. Yeah, if I may, just to chip in there, talking about, you mentioned creative ways need be carried out or thought through in ensuring, we tighten our border porosity. But then what ways are these ways when it comes to ensuring security of our border to enhance or prevent criminals, to prevent them from finding their ways, into Nigeria?
Now, I've mentioned one, that's technological innovations, drones, satellite dishes that could help you to monitor inflow and outflow of people, and then you can then profile them, see whether they are behaving in a suspicious manner, then you can flag them down, and that's Nigeria Immigration Service can flag them down. But more importantly, you need the buy-in of the border communities. Former Minister of Information did say that there was a time he visited one border community in Ogun State. The front of the Oba's Palace belongs to Nigeria. The backyard is Benin Republic. So how do you, I mean, it's just one building, the frontage is Nigeria, the backyard is Benin Republic. So you need the buy-in of the border communities to give you intelligence as to what is going on, whether there are smuggling activities, what are the illegal entry routes, and then how do you profile people that you see around. So you need intelligence gathering. And effective intelligence gathering will not happen if the border communities are continually neglected. Many of these border communities do not have social amenities of any sort. They don't have good roads, they don't have electricity, they don't have water, they don't, in fact, if you visit any of the border community, you will find out that they have nothing at stake in Nigeria. The telecommunication that they are using belongs to another country. The road network was possibly built by the other country. And we have a National Boundary Commission. That Boundary Commission needs to be strengthened. And the various ministry, departments, and agencies need to do something to appease the border communities, to get them to supply intelligence to Nigeria Immigration Service officials, because they know who are the smugglers amongst them. They know the criminal elements amongst them. They know those who are engaging in human trafficking amongst them. They know those who are doing any act of illegality. But they will not volunteer information, they will not act as whistleblower in as much as they do not have anything to show for their belonging to Nigeria. So you need to provide them social amenities like schools, hospitals, good roads, electricity, pipe-borne water. Then they will know that their allegiance is to this country, Nigeria. But the story over the decades have really, really been very appalling. You can fact check what I have just told you, my dear sister.
All right, Mr. Ojo, let's talk about the economic consequences now, both in the positive and negative light. Do you think the National Assembly attributes to the border closure policy in terms of local businesses, trade volumes, and also supply chain disruptions?
Of course, we are losing a lot in terms of economy. Take, for instance, the issue of when we closed our border with Niger. Most of the imports that we legally have from Niger Republic, we could not have it for over 1 year. What are these items? Food items like grains, beans, rice, millet, cattle, sheep, ram, goat. These are products that are supplied cheaply from Benin. Anytime there is a Ramadan and either fitri, you see merchants who will go to neighboring countries like Chad, Benin Republic, and Niger. They will go and buy Embo and come and sell in Nigeria because it's cheaper over there. And if you don't close this border post, you will be able to tax them or make them to pay the appropriate custom duty. But when you say the border is closed, these people will find their route through the 1,400 illegal entry routes I mentioned earlier. Also, take the issue of why Nigeria have to jack up the price of these petroleum products. According to President Bola Tinubu, he could not be playing Father Christmas to these neighboring countries, far up to Central African Republic, where Nigeria's petroleum products are smuggled to. Because our own petroleum products in Nigeria are among the cheapest in Africa, even with the removal of subsidy. Those who know what's happening will tell you in Cameroon, in Ghana, in Benin Republic, the price of PMS is as high as 1,005, 1,007. So even with the removal of subsidy, Nigeria's PMS, Nigerian diesel and all of that still is cheap and are still being trafficked. But what we are saying is that if government did not close down this border, anyone that wants to move these products across the border will have to pay the appropriate custom duty over there. And that will yield revenue for the federal government. And so we are losing a lot when we pretend that, oh, we have closed the border, so zero income is expected from those closed borders. Meanwhile, the smugglers are having a field day, taking these products either in or outside through the illegal entry position. But let me also quickly say, the most worrisome for me are the smuggling of small arms and light weapons, because we have not been able to effectively man these porous borders. It's very easy to traffic into Nigeria small arms and light weapons from across the African continent. And that is what has exacerbated our insecurity, because it's very easy to bring in AK-47 pistols and all of that. In fact, it has been said that some of the headers that come from Mali, Futajalom, Burkina Faso, Niger and all of that, that even when they are rearing their cattle, in some of the sacks that you think that they have only food for the cattle, they may actually have been using those cattle as a means of transporting these small arms and light weapons. Likewise, the human trafficking angle. So in terms of insecurity, it has worsened our insecurity. In terms of economy, we have lost and we are still losing huge revenue sources. And let's not even focus too much on the land borders. Do you know that worse things are happening through the waterways? Look at the Atlantic Ocean that, from Port Harcourt through Oro, from all the Niger Delta states down to Lagos. Who is policing those international waterways, where it is so easy for people to smuggle in all these light weapons and small arms that militants in Niger Delta are using?
And that's a fine place to wrap up. We're pressed for time. Thank you so much for your time on the news. Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst, many thanks indeed for your insight.
You have a joyful weekend. Keep safe.